Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley treated differently in prison wants big changes. Chrisley Knows Best reality star Todd Chrisley is speaking out more and more about his time in prison. He and his wife, Julie, were convicted on charges of tax evasion and bank fraud. They were sentenced to a combined term of 19 years behind bars. However, President Trump made their wishes come true and granted them a full and unconditional pardon last week. Now, Todd reveals that the prison system needs some major changes. Why does he think this? Keep reading to get all the details. Chrisley Knows Best star Todd Chrisley agreed to a press conference with his daughter, Savannah, on Friday. The interview took place in Nashville just a few days after he was released from a Florida prison. One of the things he discussed during the interview was how he was treated differently in prison than other inmates. He said, "I have met some wonderful men. I have listened to some horrific stories about things that have gone on in our system. I will continue to fight for all of the guys that I dealt with and that I was blessed to be with at FPC Pensacola. I will continue to expose the injustices that go on there and throughout the Bureau of Prisons, BOP." This isn't all he said. Todd also alleges that he received better treatment than black men who were also incarcerated with him. He wants to bring awareness to the systemic problems that are found within prisons. Todd went on to say, "Being in the prison system, anyone that says that it's a fair shake, it's not. Because I dealt with young African American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same." He shared that they were denied programming and access to other things. Todd said that while he was in there, he was not denied these things, and that everyone should know why. He believes that this is the bigger picture that needs to be looked at within society as a whole. Everyone should be treated as one. Of course, he was alluding to the fact that he is white. However, he could have also been treated differently because he is a reality television star. Todd Chrisley also noted that when he left prison after the pardon, there were 317 inmates currently there. He revealed how they all yelled at him not to forget them. Chrisley vows he will not forget them, and that is a promise. He, along with his family, plans to work toward getting big changes made within the prison system. Chase Chrisley has also already talked about injustices that occur within the prison system and how there needs to be major reform. Together, this will become something they continue to fight for and work toward change. What do you think about Todd Chrisley insinuating that he received better treatment in prison because he is white? Stay tuned for more updates. Todd Chrisley, once the slick-talking patriarch of the hit reality show Chrisley Knows Best, is facing a much different kind of reality now. One that includes metal bars, strict routines, and a spotlight that won't dim even behind prison walls. As his time behind bars stretches on, sources close to the embattled TV star claim he's not only being treated differently, but is now calling for major changes to the U.S. prison system itself. In true Chrisley fashion, he's not going quietly. When Todd first traded his designer wardrobe for a khaki uniform and entered the Pensacola federal prison camp, many assumed he'd lie low, serve his time quietly, and eventually return to the cameras with a redemption story. But those assumptions underestimated the man who once built a television empire on his flamboyance, flair, and refusal to blend in. According to inside sources and a growing chorus of prison reform advocates, Todd's experience has been marked by inconsistencies that hint at celebrity status creating as many problems as it solves. He's not being treated like just another inmate, one insider claims. But that doesn't always mean preferential treatment. In many ways, it's the opposite. Reportedly, Todd has faced increased scrutiny from prison staff, been subjected to stricter searches, and denied certain privileges that other inmates receive with less hassle. Guards are said to monitor his interactions more closely, limit his communication, and sometimes use him as an example to enforce rules more harshly. Perhaps, some speculate, to send a message that fame doesn't buy freedom behind bars. He's been singled out, said a former inmate who was released earlier this year. Some guards don't like the attention he brings. Others seem to relish in making life more difficult for someone who used to be on TV telling people how to live their best lives. What's perhaps more surprising than Todd's treatment is how he's chosen to respond. Rather than retreat, he's reportedly been keeping detailed notes on his experiences, filing grievances, and now, through statements released by his legal team and family, calling for sweeping reforms to how inmates are treated, especially those who may be vulnerable due to their public profile, mental health, or nonviolent criminal records. In one such statement shared by his daughter, Savannah Chrisley, Todd emphasized that prison should be about rehabilitation, not retribution. He described inhumane conditions, systemic neglect, and psychological warfare disguised as punishment, painting a stark picture of a system that often fails to treat inmates as human beings. But Todd's call for change isn't just personal. According to legal documents and family interviews, he's pushing for broader legislative efforts, including greater transparency in inmate treatment protocols, independent oversight of correctional staff behavior, improved access to mental health and wellness resources, protection for inmates who may be targeted due to notoriety or background. Supporters say his advocacy is not just another celebrity cause. This isn't about Todd being uncomfortable, said a prison reform advocate working with the Chrisley family. It's about fundamental human rights. His fame just gives him the voice to say what many others are too scared to speak up about. Critics, however, remain skeptical. Let's not forget why he's there, said one commentator. Fraud, tax evasion, and years of flaunting wealth that wasn't always legally obtained. Now he wants to be the poster boy for prison reform. To that, Savannah has clapped back on social media, arguing that her father has accepted his sentence, but not the broken system that surrounds it. Still, the juxtaposition of reality TV glamour with prison cell austerity makes for a narrative almost too surreal for fiction. Inmates reportedly refer to him as Hollywood or the banker, a nod to both his fame and the crimes that landed him there. Yet Todd, never one to miss a branding opportunity, is said to be working on a prison memoir, tentatively titled Confined, Not Conquered, documenting his transformation from flamboyant TV dad to unexpected advocate. Family visits have become less about small talk and more like strategy sessions. Lindsay and Chase, his older children, are rumored to be discussing podcast spin-offs and media appearances to share Todd's prison experience while lobbying for systemic change. Even Julie Chrisley, Todd's wife who is serving her own sentence in a separate facility, has reportedly echoed his concerns in letters and monitored phone calls. Yet, amid the noise, a quieter question lingers. Is Todd Chrisley genuinely changed? Or is this just another act in a long-running performance? It's complicated, says Dr. Mallory Vance, a criminal psychologist not affiliated with the case. People evolve in prison, but they also adapt, especially when they're used to controlling the narrative.